Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm your host, James. Alongside me, always his name is...
I'm Andy.
And we are glad you're here on this journey that has lasted so long. Did
Very
you know
long.
that? Well, come with us as we become Legend of the Nerds. Happy anniversary, Andy.
I know. I'm very excited for today.
Are you more excited that we've been on a year or more excited that we have not been canceled yet?
A little bit of both. But, I mean, we've been counting down the days, excuse me, outside the studio here, but we also mentioned on our last show, it is our 1 year anniversary.
It is.
It's something to be excited about.
Do you remember that first episode?
Yes.
It was a half hour long.
Exactly.
On WrestleMania.
Can you imagine if we were still doing half an hour? There's no way we'd get in all these topics.
We would probably have more episodes.
Probably. But.
Probably more episodes, but it won't be as fun. I think what we did, we took an idea and we just formed it and made it amazing.
Do you remember, too, I was the one who opened the show back then.
Did you really?
And now you open and I finish.
I did not know that.
Yes. How nervous were you that first show? Were you, any butterflies floating up?
A lot.
Yes.
A lot.
Same here, because I remember doing the intro and reading it off the page and trying to practice not to screw up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was happy I got it out, but I've learned now I can't just read straight off the paper. I've got to ad-lib most of my stuff.
Well, if you think about it, it's all about what works best for everybody. Me, I like to have a written script down so I don't get thrown off topic.
Exactly.
I can keep the show straight going and we keep having a great conversation. We are, but without having to take too much time in between topics that don't really make sense.
Yeah.
So what we've done is amazing. I didn't think a journey gone this far.
You can all go back on our YouTube page, Legends of the Nerds, and just look at all the past episodes and see how much has changed. I mean, everything in the studio here, different and so much better.
Oh, man.
And just the way we've even changed the way we, for instance, you write the scripts.
Mm-hmm.
We've changed a lot from watching episodes 1 through, say, 5, 6, 7, somewhere around, to now, where we're closing into that number 30 episode. So, I mean,
how many times have I changed the format of this show so far?
quite a bit. But that's the thing.
We're trying to change it, trying to make it better.
It's that first year where you tinker with a lot of the things, but hopefully not just 1 year, but we're going down the road for many, many more years.
Hopefully.
So.
What do you want to see in the future?
God.
Because we have a great show. What do we want to see?
We need a live audience.
A live audience episode.
Which is a little pun where we're hoping to get that in year 2 here.
We are.
For Comic-Con.
Because I've had a couple ideas of what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And that would be kind of fun.
Amazing if we get the chance to do that at the Comic-Con, which we hope to see you all there this year. It was nice seeing a couple fans last year not being there on too long. You met a couple fans last year.
They come out to me like, "Oh, you're James from Legend of the Nerds. I've watched your show." And it's awesome feeling to have that people actually watch what you do. They appreciate what you do. Mm-hmm. They understand what you do, and it's just encouraging.
Exactly. So hopefully we'll see many, many more people as we go to. It'll be our second Comic-Con, but I think it's their 4th overall.
Third?
Okay.
It's their 3rd one.
Yeah, so I mean,
and
it's a great place. I mean, it's getting bigger, and
yeah,
even after the show, we're just those fans of the Comic-Con walking around and just having a good time.
And the people that we've met so far, I introduced you to Fuzzman from the Blur podcast. They were amazing, great bunch of guys, right? Mm-hmm. Then Armin, the guy that we get most information from, the comicbookcast.com, great bunch of guys, and they'll be there too. We're gonna get together and do some stuff, man.
Exactly, and we're hoping to we're pushing to try to bring back our best interviewee, I should say, Brimstone.
Yes. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me ask you guys a favor. Go to our Twitter account and hashtag bring Brimstone back. Because you want to see this guy at the Vermont Comic-Con this year. Because he was an amazing dude last year. Mm-hmm. Great conversation. I wish we had more time with him. And I hope to get more time this year with him.
I'd say my other favorite one was the lightsaber training guy. He was an amazing guy to talk to too. And what a fun thing for the kids to do if you bring your kids to Comic-Con to do.
Yeah.
It was because
little Jet Night training.
Well, it's like we know Star Wars from growing up with it and stuff like that, but trying to get new kids into it who aren't really familiar, that's a fun way to get kids into it. So, but year 1, amazing. Year 2, we're hoping for much greater and higher things.
Bigger things, absolutely. Well, now it's time for my checklist. I love this portion of the show. I get to go out and investigate some journalism work on Nerd World and bring you what I found. This is what we've got so far going on. Most of the stuff, as I already mentioned, comes from our friends at thecomicbookcast.com. First up, we have huge news. Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg are joining forces to bring us Indiana Jones 5. Now, it's an on-title right now. I don't know anything about it, but I want to go back a little bit. Let's talk about number 4. I enjoyed number 4. A lot of people didn't. I enjoyed 4 up until the alien talk became reality.
So you enjoyed 90% of the show.
I enjoyed 90 of it until, the alien talk became reality. I was like, all right, I'm done. What are your thoughts about that movie?
I'm the same way. I can't say the first 3 I've watched. I know of them and I've watched them, but I can't be like, oh, I can remember everything that happened.
Really?
Yeah, but 4 I did enjoy because it started getting me into it. And then it just became weird at the end with the whole alien thing. It's just...
It came real weird.
It to me, didn't seem like an Indiana Jones movie at the end. What I enjoyed the most was Shia LaBeouf, though.
He was amazing.
Because you can't have Harrison Ford keep doing these after every year. He's getting too old for it. And the whole introducing Shia LaBeouf as his son, and Shia LaBeouf's mother was a character from the original...
The first movie.
Yep. And was his love that was a whole great tie-in. And it sets up at the end with the whole hat flying to Shia LaBeouf. Because I want to see Shia LaBeouf in the next movies, and you have Harrison Ford maybe coming in for a smaller role.
If you remember at the end of the 4th one, the hat flew.
He says, you're not ready, son.
Shia was going to pick it up. Harrison was like, not yet, Junior. And he put it back on.
Which is fine.
I was like, that is amazing.
Which is fine, but we're not going to see Shia LaBeouf in the 5th one.
No.
So.
Nope. But hopefully we hear a reference of him. That way, maybe, we can see more indie movies coming out, and a good way to pass along the torch to a younger Indiana Jones.
Exactly, because where my beef is right now with Indiana Jones 5 is they have the premiere date of 2019. That's coming out.
July 19th, 2009.
Yeah.
Is what I got.
2009?
2019.
I'm about to say. So Harrison Ford right now, I looked up, I believe he's 74.
Yeah.
Which means it just got announced now, so they're probably going to start filming next year.
Probably.
Makes him 75. By the time the movie comes out, he's 77. Is he even going to be around by then? just saying.
He is.
I know, I'm just saying. But he filmed in Star Wars The Force Awakens. He wasn't even in the movie the entire time. And he was having trouble on set because of his age. He was breaking bones. Obviously, he had the plane crash, but that wasn't really as evolving on set.
I can't really say that. Can you bone because of his age?
No, but he had a
fall all the time.
He specifically said he had a hard time on set. Can you see him pulling out an entire Indiana Jones movie at his age and not?
It was his idea.
I know, but that's why I said I was really upset because I want to see more Shia LaBeouf and less Harrison Ford.
I think you're okay to hold your breath because I think it's going to happen. You're going to see a shot in it more, I bet. But I think Harrison Ford wants to take Indiana Jones for one more round. He really enjoyed the part.
And I don't mind it. I'm hoping...
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
That's the thing. I'm just hoping it's not going to be crappy.
Because you need Steven Spielberg back on the scene,
I'm excited for that.
So it's going to be good stuff,
It was weird because when they mentioned this movie coming out before, he actually had to try out for the part. They were they were doing casting calls to cast a new Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like your boy Channing Tatum, for instance.
Oh, let's not do that. But seriously, Indy 5, what do you think the relic is going to be that he's hunting down?
I really have not even thought about it.
Because we got to assume that the year is probably 1959 through 65, somewhere around there.
I would say because I think Crystal Skull was 50s era. Because when you're watching, you have like
the greasers and stuff.
Yeah, the greasers kind of thing with the motorcycle. It reminded me of watching the movie Grease.
Yeah,
for instance.
So it's probably around late 50s, early 60s.
Exactly.
So I mean, like, what kind of?
It's hard to say. I mean, so that's around the Cold War time. So we're doing the whole Russia, Cuba, all that stuff. I don't know.
It's tough to say.
I
right?
haven't thought about it, and it's hard because this is brand new.
I know what they should do. I'm calling it right now. The Fountain of Youth.
Good.
Because you have the Pirates movie coming out, and I believe
Pirates.
The fourth one was
they,
about the Fountain of Youth.
Yes.
So I think they're going to rehash that kind of storyline.
Could.
With Indiana Jones 5.
Now is it does Disney own the rights to Indy too?
Absolutely.
Jeez, they own the rights to everything.
Man, Disney's genius. They buy the stuff and they run with it and they just make a fortune.
Jeez. But like I said, it's early for me. I mean, this just came out. I think a couple weeks ago it was announced that
about a week and a half ago,
Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
But I mean, it should be well written and well directed because I mean, Steven Spielberg. What can I say? Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Well, with Indy behind us, let's move on to a very, very dear topic to both of us, because Disney, once again, Disney pops up again. They're rebooting a new cartoon. One old cartoon for us, new cartoon for the kids these days. It is DuckTales. Remember the old cartoon? Oh, man, I love the old cartoon.
Ask me if I remember the old cartoons growing up.
How well do you remember it, though?
I can
the animation style.
I know the song, and I'm not going to sing it, but I know the whole song in my head.
You want to sing it?
No, I'm good.
All right. Now, I really want to focus on the animation style.
Yep.
Did you see the new screen pic?
I have not seen. I looked for it and I couldn't find it.
It looks terrible. It looks terrible.
Okay.
I am not happy with that at all. Our friends at comicbookcast.com, he quoted this. He's like, as you can see, the art style is sharper.
Okay.
If you remember the old 1990 version,
you could
that
see
was bright, it was sharp, it was shiny, right?
Exactly.
This new animation style is lazy animation to me.
Even, for instance, sticking on with Disney, for instance, last night, I watched, it was on TV, The Jungle Book. That was 1950s or 40s, and that was great animation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know why I know why they're doing this. It's because we're in the technology age, we're in the computer age, so everything's digitally enhanced, but nothing beats...
It doesn't look enhanced.
Nothing beats a nice...
The old school animation of DuckTales was amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks like they're coming right at you, you know?
Exactly.
It was sharp. There you can see the rounds around the head, that.
I actually...
Now it's nothing.
In preparation for just this discussion, I watched the first episode again last night. It was great!
Oh, man, it was great. Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck jumping in his giant swimming pool full of money and everything. I mean, It was great.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So I'm personally not looking forward to this reboot just because of the animation style.
Will you watch it, though, to see how it goes?
I'll maybe check out 5-10 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm.
But with the animation stuff, I'm not going to like it.
So I'm going to watch it just to see if I do, because there's talk online about are they going to have the same storyline as the original, or are they going to rewrite everything? And that's where I kind of get because the original storyline I loved so much. Mm-hmm. And it could be because as a kid, I'm going to love it, and now as an adult, my mind's racing more and thinking about things that I wouldn't have thought of as a kid. Mm-hmm. And that may push into why I don't like it. Because with this type of show, you have to sit back and not be an adult. You have to be a kid watching it.
Yeah.
So, where we're complaining about what it may look like, kids could love it. And that's what they're shooting for because it's on Disney. It's going to be on Disney Channel.
I think it's Disney XD. I think you're right.
Yeah. So,
but it's just, I hate the, it's just.
I know, but you got to see it.
It throws me off big time.
You got to see it in Disney's eyes. They're not portraying this for you. They want kids to like it. Because if the kids are going to like it, then it will make a good run.
I guess so. I guess so.
Let's talk about, do you remember any of the characters? Because I went on there, and just on one screenshot of a bunch of characters, and there's more than this, there were nearly 25 to 30 characters just on this one screenshot. That tells you how big this show was.
It's huge. It's huge.
Do you remember any of the, like, who your favorite character might have been or anything?
Launchpad was my favorite.
Mine was, I had it written down. I forgot his name. I know his alter ego. Give me 2 seconds here to find this. It was...
It's about Gizmo Duck?
Yeah, Gizmo Duck's my favorite, but it was his alter ego. It's Scrooge McDuck's accountant.
Yeah.
Who's this, oh my God, kind of character. Da, da, da. But then when he puts on that Gizmo Duck, it's like I thought about it. I was sitting back and thinking about it. It's the duck version of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And it was always awesome because it comes...
It was awesome.
It would come to him in, like, different pieces, like Iron Man's does, where it comes in like, oh, here's the hand, here's the helmet kind of thing. And he didn't have legs. He was on, like, a unicycle.
Yes, he was on... Yes.
So, I mean, you had that. You had the Beagle Boys, which were these, like, rat-type guys coming out of prison who were always trying to steal Scrooge's money. And Huey, Dewey, and Louie always thwarted their plans. That was a great thing. I mean, it had a wide range of characters, which were great. And we were talking about this prior to showing up here to the studio. Look at all the other shows back then when DuckTales was on.
Yep.
It was a Duck universe back then. We have the comic book universe nowadays. Back then, it was the Duckverse.
The Duckverse, yes.
The Duckverse.
Yes.
You had shows...
Well, my favorite part of the Duckverse was by far Darkwing Duck.
Yeah. You had spin-off. You had Darkwing Duck. You had, even though this wasn't a duck guy, but Bonkers was like some kind of wildcat as a cop.
Yeah, Bonkers is awesome, man.
And then you had the DuckTales spin-off, which was Quack Pack, which was Huey, Dewey, and Louie back with Uncle Donald, but they were teenagers.
Yep.
That was great, too. I mean, DuckTales lasted from 1987 to 1990.
Yep.
It ran 4 seasons, 100 episodes. And they actually had a full-length movie also. DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Temple. Of the Lost Lamp.
I love that movie.
So, hopefully, we'll see something decent. But
I don't know.
I'll have to look up that still. I tried looking for it and I couldn't find
Hopefully
it.
the Beagle Boys stay the villain.
Well, I mean, there were more than just the Beagle Boys. They had...
I enjoyed the Beagle Boys the best.
The thing with the Beagle Boys is you have your main 3, but there were also the Beagle Boys range. It was this giant family. Mm-hmm. You had a bunch of other people on there. So it was, I just found Fenton Crockshell or something, I think is what his name was. But you had villains, you had, what do we have here? The Beagle Boys, like I said. And then there was some kind of, like, witch duck. She always tried,
Yes.
I can't remember her name.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
DuckTales was so well, like I said, the other shows. Listen to these cameo roles that they all played on these shows. They did cameo roles on Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, Bonkers.
Goof Troop was awesome.
They were in Bonkers on a cameo. Uh-huh. They were in Aladdin, the animated series of Aladdin.
I'm trying to remember.
That was a great animation series. And Quack Pack, which was the spinoff. But that just tells you how big that show was back then.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, epic. I wish we'd get these shows back on like a Netflix or something like that, just so we can kind of relive our childhood. I mean, you're wearing one of my favorite childhood TV shows.
Like this one? My new jacket, man. I love these things.
It's
so comfortable.
I got your youngest the turtle, one of the Turtles movie, just to show him how well it was made back then. We talked about that. The animation back then was just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was. But now this new one, it's just crap. It's just crap.
Do you think it's because they're trying to save money?
Oh yeah, it's definitely that.
Because you don't have to pay.
Because most of the cartoons now on Cartoon Network and kind of on Disney now are the same exact art style.
Yeah,
same exact art style.
And it's a sad thing. You're losing a.
You're losing a generation to hopefully gamble to pick up a new generation.
Yeah,
is what they're doing.
It's sad. Yeah. So.
Talk about reboots though. This one just came to me. I remembered it. I'm not sure how guaranteed it's gonna be. But Xena, the Warrior Princess, is coming out.
I remember hearing
NBC is picking it up.
They are, okay. I remember them saying that something like that was supposed to happen.
Yeah. More news came out over the weekend.
Is it Lucy Lawless still in it, or?
She doesn't know.
Okay.
Doesn't know. I was a huge Hercules and Xena fan.
Same here.
Huge. I loved it. And this, what sounds like the remake is sounding like, is they're going to focus more on Xena and Gabrielle's relationship than anything.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I enjoyed the character development between those two during the original run of the show, but it was more than just their character development relationship. It was more about, the Greek gods and things like that, and I don't want them to kind of get away from the Greek god stuff and more focus on them, They can't be doing that, otherwise the show's just not going to last. It's going to be tough because Ares was one of the main villains in Xena, and a guy named Kevin Smith played him, and he is no longer with us, so they're going to have to either recast Ares or not bring him into it, maybe a different god, maybe?
The hardest thing they're going to find out isn't casting or anything like that, it's NBC itself.
Yeah, true that.
NBC lately has been the worst, I think, TV station to have a television show. A lot of shows on there have only been lasting maybe a season or two.
Yep, and that's why I don't really have high hopes for the new Xena one. I am hoping that Hercules would be like, all right, I'm Kevin Sorbo, let's do this. Rehash Hercules maybe.
Could.
But then again, though, Michael Hurst, the guy who played Aeolus, he's no longer with us either.
Well, the whole Hercules thing, I could see that happening before Xena, just because lately we've been doing a lot of Hercules things with the two movies that just came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So it's more fresh on people's minds.
I would love to see Kevin Sorbo jump back in that part. Because, have you seen him lately? He looks amazing.
Looks the same.
He looks amazing still. I just wish, Michael Hurst was still around to pick up the Aeolus part.
Because he did an amazing job as Aeolus.
I love that character.
Yeah, so.
But that's all I have for Xena stuff. Do you have anything you want to add to the checklist?
I do. It was breaking news for me this weekend because it just happened this weekend. We talk about how big of nerd fans we are with wrestling.
Oh yes, our
amazing
nerd topic.
Thing. We don't talk about this company that often because WWE is the big boys company.
Place to go.
This comes out of TNA, Total Nonstop Action, who used to be an amazing show, and then stuff started happening. They started letting a lot of people go. And unfortunately, two more TNA legends, and in our eyes, Hall of Famers, some of the best, were let go with TNA.
So TNA is going downhill. So they decide, hey, it's a good idea to release more of our main stars.
Basically.
Awesome.
The thing with TNA is they're going towards the younger version of wrestlers. They're bringing over a lot of young guys and trying to get these young guys that you don't know of or that WWE didn't care for and trying to make them into superstars. That's the thing. Like, for instance, you remember Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
In WWE. He had potential, but then nothing happened. Now, in TNA, he's Drew Galloway, and he just became the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, cashing in his briefcase from Feast or Fired on Matt Hardy. It was I know I want to get into who just got let go, but I had to mention this. It was a great thing because we have in WWE Money in the Bank, and it's great because they cash it in when you don't expect it. That happened last week. Matt's just sitting there. He's like, done his match. Drew comes out, cashes in, bam, wins.
Awesome.
It was a great way. But getting back on topic, unfortunately, Bobby Roode and Eric Young, two former Team Canada guys, are gone. Your boys, two of your boys.
Eli and Bobby Roode.
Yeah, and they're champions right now.
What are they thinking? What are they thinking?
I could ask you the same thing when AJ Styles is gone.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal is gone. One of my favorite X Division superstars in TNA, Amazing Red. Do you remember Amazing Red?
Of course.
He's gone. The X Division.
Now, what about Austin Aries?
He is gone. He's in
He's gone.
He just debuted in NXT.
I know. What are they doing? Maybe Dixie wants to just call it quits.
I don't know.
Maybe trying to have no respect for her wrestlers who made the company and be like, I'm quitting soon, So you guys should find a new place to be.
I wonder, too, if it's a lot of the money thing, because these guys that we're mentioning are big-name guys still. Yes, they're older in age, but they still have it, but they're going to want a lot.
Bobby Roode has it.
They're
EY
gonna,
always
I know,
had
but
it.
they're going to want a lot. And with the company tanking a little bit...
Taking a little bit. Who's left?
Well, what I mean is...
You have, the old school Hardy Boys. I mean, come on. They should have gotten like a while ago. I mean, who's left?
They're doing the whole pushing of the young guys. Like you have said on record that you're a fan of EC3.
Yeah.
Like I said, Drew Galloway, and then some others. There's Eli Drake, Jesse Goddard's, even Rockstar Spud's coming up. So
Choice, I guess.
I can see it happening, but it is a sad thing to see these guys who built the company just. I mean, it was a mutual thing, so we can't just say TNA said, okay, go. It is said that they negotiations.
Now, what about Christopher Daniels?
He's gone too.
He's gone too?
Him and Kaz are in Ring of Honor with Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
I mean, come on. That's the entire roster.
There's no X division anymore either. I mean, there's like 2 guys I can.
Yeah, I heard the women's division is terrible now.
Yep. It's a sad thing because TNA, we could say even 5 years ago, was pushing.
I was such a huge fan of TNA back in the day, and now it's just a flop. I mean, they must just sell out now while they can.
They were pushing to put the whole rivalry that WWE had with WCW back in the 90s. It almost became a reality between WWE now and TNA.
Yeah. Dixie should just be like, here, Vince, have it.
I think it all started when they brought over Bischoff and Hogan because stuff started going downhill.
Yeah.
It did.
I
truly did.
I think it's probably more Hogan than Bischoff, though,
I think, too, they need to go back to having the pay-per-views on pay-per-view, not airing them on as an episode of Impact.
Yeah.
You're losing out on a lot of money there.
Yep.
So, I mean, and go back to your original matches. Go back to having the King of the Mountain match once a year. Have Lethal Lockdown, but put the roof on it like they used to with weapons hanging from it.
Yeah.
Now it's just...
Or the Terror Dome, right?
Yes, the Terror Dome, amazing. I mean...
They had great matches back then, now they have nothing.
So, unfortunately, like I said, breaking news out of wrestling.
So what can we expect from Bobby Roode and EY now?
I don't know if they will go to WWE. I can't say they would.
Well, I'm going to say this right now. I would love to see John Cena versus Bobby Roode any day of the week.
I personally think it'll be a break for both of them, but I could see a pop-up in Ring of Honor or New Japan Wrestling.
EY, New Japan, Bobby Roode, WWE.
You don't think any stop in Ring of Honor?
Well, I mean, if you go to New Japan, then you're going to have ties with
Ring of Honor, yes.
So, but I see EY going that direction, but I see Bobby Roode keep on reaching for the stars. He always does.
He could. I mean, they signed Storm for one match in NXT, so.
Yeah.
And I mean, Austin Aries is there, Joe's there, AJ's there.
I mean, they pretty much have the old school TNA roster already, so let's just keep collecting them. And
good. But like I said, it's unfortunate, it's sad, because those two would have been, if they were still in the company, Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
that's it?
That's it for me.
All right, nothing else you want to add?
I was very upset when I saw it, so.
No more news? Breaking news for you?
Not for me right now.
Not for you right now? Well, let's jump into our top 5, huh?
Let's do it.
All right.
Why don't you mention why we chose this for a top 5, though? Because after the top 5, we have our big topic to talk about.
Yes. So, the top 5 this week is going to be top 5 hero TV shows that should happen. And what I mean by this, Andy, is pick a superhero anywhere. Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, the comic book, whatever. What would you want to see in a TV show? And, explain why you think that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. And because our main topic today is going to be all the Marvel shows that are on Netflix right now. And they're just blowing up Netflix right now.
Exactly.
So, you want to start off? Or you want me to start off?
I'll start off.
All right.
I strictly stuck with Marvel.
Okay.
Mainly because in my head we're talking about the Netflix, and on Netflix they're all Marvel characters right now. So I kind of just
You're
wanted
keeping it basic and simple.
keep it
Got
basic and simple. So number 5, I did this before I saw her in this season of Daredevil.
Okay.
And it was Elektra. Because I'm thinking, where can it tie in? Because all these Marvel shows right now all tie in together. And will eventually go to the Defenders miniseries. So you have Daredevil. Elektra is mainly with Daredevil all the time. When you think Daredevil, you think the female version, Elektra. So
Okay.
I kind of thought maybe we'll see an Elektra show, and it could happen now, introducing her into Daredevil. Number 4 was one of my favorite. He wasn't my all-time favorite, but one of my favorite characters in X-Men, and that is Bishop. I want to see that futuristic. Like, we have all this present stuff going on.
Okay.
I want to see that futuristic TV show with Bishop as the
All
lead.
right.
Because when you get to future X-Men, that Bishop is the leader to me.
Okay.
And with his certain powers and everything, that'd be a pretty neat show to see.
So, on-run, just Bishop show.
Well, you could add in a couple more the lower name X-Men in there,
Lower name.
but
Oh, the B team.
yeah, but I mean, when you see the animations and stuff with Bishop, he kind of was a little like a Wolverine. He even Wolverine trained Bishop. So I mean,
Bishop was an awesome character.
yeah. My number 3 is my all-time favorite X-Men, and that is Wolverine. We have seen the Wolverine movies and stuff, but it'd be kind of nice to see more drawn out. Okay, this is Wolverine getting his powers.
More of a history.
Exactly.
Of
Because we
Wolverine.
know Wolverine prior to X-Men did the whole Japan thing. And we kind of got a little bit of that, I guess, in the second Wolverine movie.
That might be an interesting concept because, I mean, really, when was Logan born?
True.
You know, seeing his whole development, that would be a cool idea, actually.
And how many fans out there do we know that love Wolverine and want to see? And I think Netflix would do the right thing. And when they get to the present where he's with X-Men maybe kind of thing, or he's with the X-Men but he does his own solo thing, I think Netflix and Marvel would give him the original Wolverine
You know, the audience
outfit.
is too sick of Wolverine now, though? I mean, it's been, what, 13, 14 years of
Yes,
Wolverine?
but people say they want to see the Wolverine in the animation outfit, not this
Okay.
leather jumpsuit.
All right.
So, my number 2 and 1 are more 1A and 1B. I just couldn't figure out who I'd want to see more. And so, number 2, I have Hawkeye. And number 1, I have Black Widow. Because they just came out with the Black Widow and Hawkeye comics. And how cool would it be to see those two get their own separate
I'm glad you mentioned that.
shows, and then you can do crossovers where they come together.
You actually just reminded me of something. Over the weekend, Jeremy Renner came out and said, I want a Hawkeye TV show
That'd be amazing.
on Netflix.
He plays an amazing Hawkeye.
He is so up for doing a TV show of Hawkeye. And he always stays, he's like, if I do it, Widow's got to be in it too.
Because that's the thing. With these two S.H.I.E.L.D. members, they're not always together like we're seeing in the movies. They go on their separate...
You set missions all the time.
Yeah, and it's brought up in the movies where they talk about, remember when we came together in Budapest. And all that. That'd be a cool thing.
Yeah,
they
right?
have their own separates, and then when they do crossovers,
Season
they come
1
together.
based on Budapest.
Exactly. But even seeing Widow before she hit S.H.I.E.L.D. when she was working as a Russian spy.
That's a cool concept.
It was hard for me to choose 1 and 2.
I'll allow it.
So that's why I did like maybe a 1A and 1B.
I'll allow it. I think that's a cool concept. I like that one.
And like I said,
Jeremy Renner already said that he would do it.
And
so
like I said, the new comics for those just came out for Black Widow and Hawkeye.
I see it happening. I see the Hawkeye one happening. Absolutely.
Top those two as your number 1s and 2s.
We'll find out right now, won't we?
There you go.
All right, time for the best list. All right, now
For the best list, really?
this
Just
one.
because you didn't get a list last week?
You're lucky I told you this list. Now, this right here is a stretch because a lot of complaints have been going around about it. I think they need to do it the right way by putting it into a TV show.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Fantastic Four TV show
Okay.
because, let's face it, the movies were terrible
We'll say...
because
we'll
there was too
differ.
much going on and that you don't have enough room, enough platform to spread out the information. Instead, they pile the information on in a 2-hour movie.
Okay.
You know, so if they had more space, more time, I think a Fantastic Four movie would work incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. So that's my number 5. Number 4, Jonah Hex.
Oh.
People love their westerns,
Yep.
and who knows? Put a superhero western movie show out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might do pretty darn well.
And Jonah Hex is one of those characters where he's kind of intriguing because it's not like he has the typical superpower that we see in comic book heroes.
He's got a very random power, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he talks to the dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it would fit well with the whole Netflix Marvel thing right now because when you look at what we've seen so far from Daredevil and Jessica Jones, they're very dark TV series. Mm-hmm. And Jonah Hex is a very dark character.
I could see someone like AMC picking it up, maybe, and do a really good job, portraying Jonah Hex in a TV show like that. I mean, The Walking Dead's on that channel. That's pretty dark. Put another dark show, Jonah Hex, Western out there. I think it'd do great.
Yep.
That's number 4. Number 3, Spawn.
Okay.
You remember Spawn?
I remember Spawn.
I really enjoyed the movie Spawn. Michael White did an amazing job in the part. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see more time. Again, just like Fantastic Four, more time to really explain the concept of Spawn and have more villains out there. And this is another dark show I think maybe AMC perfect with to do.
My problem with Spawn is when I was doing my list, I came across a top 20 list of Marvel characters they want to see as TV shows. So that's why I kind of was interesting. And one of them was Blade. Blade and Spawn kind of remind me of the same kind of guy. But with me, Blade, they tried doing this where they had a TV series.
They did have a TV show.
And it failed.
Didn't do well.
So, to me, I think Spawn would fail just like Blade.
You think so?
I think so.
It could not.
Because I feel
any of these shows on my list, any of the shows on your list, they could fail.
No, I know. I feel
you just got to pick out the right people to watch it. That's all.
I feel like Spawn isn't in everyone's mind. That's the thing. It's not. Yes, it was a decent movie in the 90s.
Think about this. Was Jessica Jones in everybody's mind?
Not really,
Look
no.
how well that show did.
True.
You take a new concept and you rehash it, and you may get a huge audience. Mm-hmm. I mean, people didn't think a zombie apocalypse show would do so well, but look at The Walking Dead now. So
True.
Who knows? Random acts like that, they could take huge risks, and the turnout could be great.
Yep.
So number 3, could fail, could not. Number 2, this one is tricky. I picked it out because I thought it might fit good with the Netflix Marvel stuff. I'm talking about Black Cat.
It was a great character in the Spider-Man animations. Mm-hmm. I love that character.
I think having a nice, strong female lead in here, as with Felicia Harding, I think it'd be a really cool show. Especially when they could do a watch highs around, hey, Spider-Man is around, but he's not actually around,
Well, I was going to say, the biggest tie-in you could do is a Morpheus.
Yes. Morpheus would be amazing.
Because her relationship with him was a key factor in the animation.
Yeah. Morpheus would be great. I mean, she does have a lot of villains on there, and she is a very interesting character to me.
Before you move on to your number 1, I'd like to just mention this, which I believe would make not a great show, but a great mini-series. So just like 3 or 4 2-hour episodes. Mm-hmm. The whole Black Cat thing and the animation of Spider-Man reminded me of, at the end of the Spider-Man saga, the animation, they did where Spider-Man went to, with Madam Web, and he had to get his team together.
Yep.
And Black Cat was on there, Captain America, the Fantastic Four. He had Storm from X-Men. Mm-hmm. I forgot what it was called, the series. So it was like 6 episodes. That'd be an amazing mini-series.
That would be kind of cool mini-series, yeah.
Because they went to like different worlds and dimensions.
And that's why Spider-Man is so important. That's why I think the way the main Spider-Man movies, great concept movies, but I think they focus too much on making his suit too shiny and sparkly instead of a good storyline.
Which is why a lot of people are liking this new suit from Captain America, because it's more
love
blunt. It's a more blunt color.
It's it's Spider-Man. We know what a suit looks like. Pop in something. Let's have a great storyline instead. So I think it's new.
I watched a thing where these guys talk about Easter eggs, and they did all the Easter eggs we'll see in Civil War, and they slowed down the footage where Spider-Man's doing a flip over Cap, and they showed when they built the suit, they did keep one thing that was like from the animations and everything, and that's the big red spider on his back.
Yeah.
So that's an Easter egg in the movie to look for.
So Black Cat may be a great addition to the Netflix series. Because Jessica Jones even popped out as a little Easter egg where she's underneath a bridge. That was the same bridge that Spider-Man swung on in one of the movies.
Well, they also can talk about a lot because Black Cat gets her powers from the super serum that made Captain America.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of backstory for Black Cat.
Black Cat. And I think she'd be a huge fit in there. Perfect. All right, number one. You should already know what my number one is. Anyway, I thought I should know what my number one is.
Hawkeye?
What?
Hawkeye?
No, it's not Hawkeye.
Oh, you have a man crush on him.
This would be a great CW edition. I've already watched all the fan-made episodes that they had on YouTube. Now I'm talking about my favorite superhero, Nightwing.
Oh, of course. Once you said CW too, I'm thinking, okay, so it has to be DC. But yeah, I forgot you have a bigger man crush on Nightwing.
I think having a Nightwing cartoon or a show that's kind of into the Flareoverse would be awesome. Especially
the fact where Nightwing is a very popular character right now because we see a lot of fan-made things on YouTube.
Because Nightwing's awesome, and we've already seen in the very first episode of The Flash in season 1 when Harrison Wells goes to see Gideon and with the newspaper clipping, it already mentioned Wayne Corp, Queen Consolidate merger complete.
I did not notice that.
So we already know that Batman's already in there. He's probably already a superhero. Probably already trained all the Robin.
Well, it makes you.
So Nightwing could be old enough to be up there, high enough where he could be.
It makes me wonder a lot where the CW is going to go with all these DC shows down the road, because I mentioned on a prior show in Legends of Tomorrow, what's the guy from the future's name? Rip Hunter. He mentions that I've seen Men of Steel break and Dark Knight's fall. So, I mean, that is cluing in to future Supermans and Batmans.
And I think it was season 2 or 3 of Arrow where they mentioned the city Bloodhaven. And that is the city that Nightwing saves. He protects that city.
Exactly.
So the city's already been mentioned. The fact that Batman or Bruce Wayne is at least in the universe somewhere could tie into a great Nightwing.
And then one of your favorite parts in Legends of Tomorrow, going to the future, seeing old Oliver looking like the Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
Looking like the Justice League Green Arrow with the missing arm and all that stuff. And
so I think number one, Nightwing.
You could see maybe a Justice League TV, like not the show, but like a mini series of like 3 episodes way down the road, maybe like 2020 kind of thing.
That'd be kind of cool.
Because with DC now doing this big Justice League movie thing, and the CW maybe trying to ride the coattails of it.
Yeah.
Could see it.
But, there's my top 5, Andy. Love it or hate it. I like it.
A hard thing right here. I like Nightwing because at number 1, I'm already putting it. Because I kind of have a little man crush, I guess, on it. Because I like the whole concept of the development of Nightwing.
Yeah.
Being Robin as a kid, growing up, and wanting to get out of Batman's shadow.
Yep.
And doing his own thing. And you never know where this could tie into maybe a Teen Titans.
I mean, you can pick apart Arrow and Flash and even Legends of Tomorrow and figure out all the, the Easter eggs that lead up to Nightwing being introduced somewhere down the road.
This is a first right now because I had my top 5 thought of before I wrote this down, and I just said something that was gonna make my top 5. So Elektra is out as 5. Bishop's moved up to 5. Wolverine's 4. Teen Titans is my number 3. It's not just one guy; it's a whole group because we were supposed to get the Teen Titans TV show, the live action, and then it got the boot before it even made TV. I want to see that. I want to see the Teen Titans live action television show. That is my number 3.
This is a This is epic. Changing your top 5 right on air.
Well, don't tell me that you don't want to see this either.
I want to see it done right.
Yes, but that's where I mentioned the whole CW thing when you said you could see a Nightwing on CW, and then I just said, well, it could tie in to his growth, and then maybe show a little bit of Teen Titans, because I think the CW could do a great job with the Teen Titans. Especially because what are they doing with Arrow right now? They're introducing the Hive. And the Hive is a great area where those villains as kids developed. And they also introduced the season before Brother Blood, who ran and taught a lot of these villains too. These could all be quick tie-ins to a Teen Titans.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but Nightwing I think is a great number 1.
All right.
I really think a Hawkeye and a Black Widow should be a
2, yeah.
Do we put them as just a 2? Or
I think just a 2, yeah. Because, I mean, Jeremy Renner already announced that he's going to more likely happen, so I think I should know 2, yeah.
So a Hawkeye / Black Widow?
We can only take off Spawn. That's fine.
So do you think a Teen Titans should be a 3? Or would you even put them?
Either 3 or 4, but I do like the idea of Black Cat being on this list somewhere.
Oof. Black Cat 3.
Okay.
A Teen Titans a 4, because I know we both really were excited about it and very upset
if
when
it's done right.
Yes. A 5. I like my Bishop thing, but I could see when you talk Jonah Hex, because Jonah Hex is that character not a lot of people talk about, but there's a lot of history evolving Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex is a cool character.
That needs to be... I love the movie that came out. It was a good starting point, but I wish they could have ran with it a little more.
Now, what do you think about Fantastic Four idea, though?
I don't.
Okay,
I don't
you're not feeling that?
I'm not. I like the concept of the comic back originally when it made its run.
I just think they should stop with the movies, and I just think a TV show would be a much better fit for a Fantastic Four.
I just don't feel like it could make that push.
Right.
That we want it to, but I don't think... I think because it's kicked the bucket too many times, that fans are going to be like,
Make it so hard for me to argue with you.
Hey, I enjoyed the movies. I'm just saying what fans...
Well, you had bad taste in movies anyway, so I'm not surprised you don't want to see this as a TV show.
There's others I'd rather see.
All right.
So Jonah Hex is 5. I really... That's the thing with Jonah Hex. You don't think of it, and then when someone brings it up, it's like, oh, maybe.
That's why I'm here.
So, there we go. I did want to mention, too, probably before I bring this up, fans want to see a Punisher TV series.
It's already been announced.
You're not big on it so far, but we'll see what happens.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the Punisher. I don't enjoy who plays the Punisher.
I don't know
I don't like him as an actor.
I don't know if I'm going to enjoy the whole Punisher if they make it into a TV series. He's the character that it's like, I don't know how to relate, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one that almost made my list was Agent 13. Do you know who Agent 13 is?
You think so?
I think I could see Agent 13 developing because you could bring in Peggy Carter, because that's her niece, and kind of training her in S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of thing, learning about Captain Rogers, and it could happen. She might die in Civil War. That's what people are saying, but we'll see it. Right. So, our top 5 for this week are number 5. You don't ever really think of him, but when people say him, the light bulb hits. Jonah Hex. Number 4, unfortunately, it got canceled. We want it done right. Maybe the CW someday.
Yes.
The Teen Titans, because what an amazing group. The animation was amazing. Let's see the live action. Number 3, Black Cat. I would have never thought of this, but lots of tie-ins to Captain America, Spider-Man. Maybe do a little Morpheus love story in there. Would make a great show. Number 2, two of our favorites, Black Widow and Hawkeye. Could see them both having separate shows, but doing a lot of crossovers together.
Oh.
But number 1, his biggest man crush.
That's right.
Dick Grayson, a.k.a. Nightwing.
Grayson himself.
So, those make great shows.
I think they'd be incredible shows.
And that's why I like the CW right now a lot, because they're doing a really good job with DC.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you say I don't want to see a lot in one big push, but they're doing so well that I could see in a couple years another show, and then a couple years another show. Because I mean, I don't think Flash and Arrow are going to last forever, but I mean, Smallville lasted for 10 years.
Smallville lasted a while, didn't it?
And maybe we'll get Mr. Tom Welling back in a Flash or an Arrow episode.
That would be epic.
Everyone's man crush from Smallville might return. Kind of thing. So, we'll see.
All right, there's the top 5. Feel free to jump to our Twitter page or our Facebook account and tell us your top 5 on what 5 superheroes or even villains, if you want, as a TV show that you don't want to see. And it's time for the main event. That is the Netflix Marvel TV shows.
Getting just as big as the CW DC shows.
When Netflix first came on the scene, I thought it was a huge joke. Because at that point in time, I was working at Blockbuster. Right?
Yep.
It was a big joke for me. I didn't want anything to do with it. But as the years go by, Netflix became a solid place for great programming. It really did. And let's talk about this one right here. Daredevil, starring Charlie Cox.
Mm-hmm.
Just came on to season 2. I'm about 5 episodes in. You're about, what, 6 episodes in?
I just finished episode 6, so I have 7 more to go.
But what did you think of season 1?
Season 1, I enjoyed the storyline because, to me, Daredevil's biggest villain is Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. And I enjoyed the whole Wilson Fisk storyline. What I hated was it took up to the second to last episode to get his Daredevil suit. Mm-hmm. I kind of didn't care for the whole Black Hood thing. He looked too much like Iron Fist.
Okay.
In this. That's the thing. It was a lot of drawn out, I think, less action, and I like more of the action. And
that's where me and you differ. Is that you want more of the action. Me, I want a great, solid storyline.
I remember when we sat down and watched episode 1, we both really weren't too into it. It was like, okay, maybe I'll watch a little bit more of it. But then it got better as the episodes went through. So
I enjoyed it. For me, Wilson Fisk is more of a Spider-Man villain than anything.
Okay.
I would have loved to see Bullseye in season 1.
Yep.
I would have. But he wasn't in it at all. Maybe we'll see him in season 2. Maybe. Season 2's got the Punisher in it now.
Season 2, I mean, let's go on to season 2. Season 2 is introducing a lot of new people. I mean, you've got Elektra. You've got the Punisher. You've got these new gangs that are showing up. That's the thing. There's
the Dogs of Hell, I think it is.
Dogs of Hell we had. That Irish group. Granted, Punisher took them all out. But now there's these new... I don't want to get into too much because it's in the next episode that you haven't watched, but there's this Chinese group that everyone thinks is the Triads, but they're not.
Okay.
So we'll see where they go down the road. But then
Chinese group, huh? I wonder if you will tie into Iron Fist somewhere else.
It could. They're also going to get into a lot of Karen, who is Foggy, and
Huggy.
Foggy is his name, and Matt's assistant in their legal career. Karen, she has a dark past, apparently, that they're going to get into.
You know, I like her in this show. When I first saw her, it was in True Blood, and she was terrible in that show. But she has improved her acting skills. In this show, I kind of like her.
There's a name, not a name drop, but a state drop in season 2. Did you see this? I think it was in the episode. I think you've already watched. She mentions where she's from. She's from right down here, right in Vermont.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I grew up in Vermont. I'm like, oh, some people do know where this state is actually.
I did not hear that. No.
Yeah, but they're gonna get into more because they're talking about her. She has a brother. Mm-hmm. So, is her brother a villain? Maybe somewhere down the road.
Maybe we'll find out. So, Daredevil 2, season 2. So far, for me, it's a little slow right now. I'm not really digging it as much as I did season 1, but
that's where we differ.
It might change for me. It might change.
That's where we differ. I am loving season 2 right now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Number 2, second show is Jessica Jones.
Yes, after season 1 of Daredevil, and I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. I actually enjoyed season 1 of Jessica Jones more than season 1 of Daredevil.
What did you think of Kristen Ritter's acting?
I didn't mind it. I'm not a big fan of hers, but I thought Jessica Jones is you got to remember, pre-Jessica Jones, where she was Jewel, where they do the name drop in it because she is wearing, I think, the suit.
Yeah, I saw that. That was so great.
After that, when she meets the Purple Man, Kilgrave, that's when the whole Jewel thing ends, and she becomes this more sadistic, dark person who drinks a lot kind of thing. And they even said they want to show a little bit of the Jewel thing, but it's more into the Alias comic book when she becomes Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a great role for her because she could play this darker person.
She did a great job. She really did. I wasn't sure how I felt about the costume design there. She just wore just jeans and a leather jacket through the entire series.
That's what she wears through.
And I'm like, more showsy than just, regular plain clothes. I was like, you know what? It actually kind of works for her.
That's how it is in Alias, though. Because Marvel said with this Jessica Jones that they're going for the Alias comic book. Mm-hmm. Everything you see, I mean, even the window breaking, when it first starts, that first episode where she puts that guy's head through the window, that's how it starts in the comic book.
Yeah.
So
have you read the comic book?
I haven't read the comic book, but I've researched more of it.
Okay.
The best thing they said, which was a great push to the Avengers and Avengers Tower, when you're watching the intro to Jessica Jones and it's all kind of like water painting and everything, you can see Avengers Tower in the background because they're in Hell's Kitchen. And New York City is just in the background of Hell's Kitchen. So.
Yeah. Fair enough. What'd you think of David Tennant now?
I'm upset they killed him.
Genius. What a genius, man. His part in that. Kim playing Kilgrave was perfect.
I'm upset, though, they killed him. He was a great villain. And where are you going to go now? I'm not too familiar with all the Jessica Jones villains and stuff, but Kilgrave is a big character, big villain.
If you think about it, his villainous wasn't really through villainy.
No, it's just mind control.
He didn't want to take over the world. He didn't want to take over the city. All he wanted was Jessica Jones. True. That was his only part that he wanted to do. All right. So we have three more shows I want to quickly talk about because they're not out yet at all.
Yep.
So just hypothesis stuff. Punisher. Season 1 supposed to come out. I don't know. John Bernthal is the Punisher in Daredevil. They want to put him into a new TV show. I don't like it. I'm not sure I'm going to like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
Well, because I just don't like him.
That's true. We do have confirmed, though, that September 30th of this year, that's when Luke Cage comes out.
September 30th, okay.
Yep. From what I've read, it's not going to follow what happened after Jessica Jones. It's more of prior to Jessica Jones, where he's in Harlem, and you learn about him getting his powers.
Okay.
Because I believe he was a test subject. So we'll see that. Then, in chronological order, they say after Luke Cage will be Iron Fist, which I want to see that portray him and Luke Cage get together.
So they did cast Iron Fist, by the way.
Yes.
It is Finn Jones.
Yes. I want to see him and Luke, though, get together because they form this little group.
That would be kind of cool to see, yep.
So we'll see that. After that, once we get introduced to Iron Fist, we get the mini-series, The Defenders, where everyone comes together. And they all have in common the ER doctor, ER nurse.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
She's already been cast for the mini-series.
She's cool. I like her.
So she'll probably end up stitching everyone up.
Yep.
Then after Defenders is Jessica Jones Season 2. Where will that go?
Really?
Yes.
So what's the time span on that? A year, 2 years?
Yeah. From what I've found, we're supposed to get Iron Fist and the Defenders in 2017.
Okay.
And then probably...
Wait, what? 2 more years for Season 2 of Jessica Jones?
Yes, probably.
Wow.
Because it's hard. It's hard in Jessica Jones. People want to see her friend Trish get her superpowers. And then the cop that takes the pills, he has a villain name, and I can't remember what it is, but he's a big villain in Jessica Jones's series.
Okay.
Because he works for the government kind of thing, and these pills turn him into this like mad super soldier guy.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I get what you're talking about. Yep.
So, and all we know is after when he passed out, the government came and picked him up, and that's it. We don't know where that's going to go. So it could be a pun into season 2.
But quickly, with the Punisher, what time is it? When do you have a date for the Punisher?
I do not have a date.
Okay.
I think it's still I think they just probably said, yeah, we're going to go with it because there's so many fans of the Punisher all of a sudden.
Do you think we'll see Blade in the Punisher?
I don't.
You don't?
I'm still debating
Yeah.
how this is going to turn out.
Yeah.
So, but that was
That it?
that's it. I mean,
Nothing else on your list? Let me check my
I'm
list.
looking forward to the. I just want to say I'm looking forward to the Defenders miniseries.
Okay.
I'm kind of excited for it. I'm hoping it turns out to be kind of like the Avengers. So
Check my list here. See, I have everything wrapped up here. Yeah. I believe we covered everything today, man.
that's the end of the 1-year anniversary of Legends of the Nerds.
Man, that was smooth, wasn't it?
What a great first year.
It was a great year.
Well, let's finish it up with our usual, me ending the show.
Close it up, man.
Let's go. We hope you enjoyed this show. What an amazing show. 1-year anniversary. We hope you see us again for our 2-year anniversary. But like always, don't forget, you can subscribe to our Legends of the Nerds YouTube page and watch this episode and every one of our episodes from year 1. Don't forget, like us on Facebook. We hope to get that like someday up to 100. We put a lot of trailers on there and also every episode there too. But don't forget, Twitter is banging right now. All the people around the world that are tweeting us.
So fun, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Don't forget, look us up on Twitter at KrillinMan.
At Krillin, man. Always having a conversation with the Comic Cast, and Fuzzman's always on there.
And I have to start the countdown now officially. In 5 short months, we mentioned it, we're returning for the second time at the Vermont Comic-Con. We hope to see every one of our fans there, and we're hoping to make it an epic show.
Oh, we have huge plans if it goes right.
Exactly. So
Huge
don't forget,
plans.
everybody out there, to always stay nerdy.